Thank you very much there, Amy. So welcome back to the commentary box. Now, semi-final number one, comprised of the qualifiers from Group A. Well, a very, very interesting affair and some very quick lap times. The Spaniard Mandzukic is on pole position for this one. He set a fastest lap of a 1 minute 25.320 there, Steve. Qualifying an incredibly close affair. Both riders separated by just a few tenths of a second.
Yeah, qualifying absolutely crucial for them. They'll go out there. There will be a 10-lap race for these guys, so they're getting themselves prepared. Worth pointing out at this stage also, Tom, that despite the fact that you will see different manufacturers and different bikes and liveries, they are all on exactly the same machinery.
Absolutely, yeah. Identical bikes underneath, just different liveries on top of them. So the likes of Mandzukic, who qualified on pole position, he's representing Movistar Yamaha here. The guy who is in second position, Luigi 48GP, who we saw just a few moments ago, is on board a Suzuki. Timothy McGarden on the outside of the front row on board a Suzuki as well. Row number 2 is headed by Vindex 813, who is on a factory Ducati, and alongside him is Adrian_26 on the Tech 3 Yamaha. And on the back of row number 2, it's Kyron DL49 on board the Aspar Ducati. Bit of a left field choice there compared to the popular choices we've had so far. Then towards the final row of the grid, the Reali Vintia Ducati is occupied by the Fugia, and Rick_MotoGP_35 is on board the Repsol Honda. So you can see there the grid. Mandzukic is on pole position. He hails from Spain. And as we said, alongside him is the Italian Luigi 48GP with Timothy McGarden on the outside of the front row. So 3 different nationalities there, Steve, occupying the top 3.
Yep, we're ready to go. Number 2 there, Mandzukic on pole position on that Yamaha. Just next to him, number 48, it's Luigi. Now, these guys have been going very well in the build-up to this weekend. Both of them incredibly fast. And we're really looking forward to this one.
Yeah, so lights go out. It's Luigi 48GP who gets the initial getaway. What will Timothy McGarden, who's on the inside, be able to do? He slots himself up the inside and into the lead of the race. Keep an eye out for Mandzukic, though, who slots it straight back on corner exit. As we look at the helicam heading down towards turn number 2, it's Mandzukic with the advantage then. Timothy McGarden slots into second place, now ahead of Luigi.
Now, important to remember that 4 riders will qualify. The top 4 will go through, so it's a game of tactics here. You don't want to throw caution to the wind and do anything too silly. If you're out leading, keep yourself nice and smooth, because you want to ideally get yourself into the final. And Mandzukic with a perfect start ahead of Timothy McGarden, number 61, our competitor hailing from Germany.
Disappointing start for Vindex there, Steve, as well. He started in 4th place and is down to 6th position. Just 10 laps for these riders. It does go by very quickly. You can now see on the left and the right sides of your screen the players competing on board their machines. It's a very static shot there. They are concentrating and they are very focused indeed.
3rd place there, you can see the pull and bear Aspar colours. That is number 49, Kyron, coming all the way from South Africa to compete here in the eSport semi-final. He's got a really good start here, up into 3rd place, but it's still Mandzukic, who is, of course, remember, fastest through the free practice, who leads this one.
Fastest in qualifying as well, started of course on pole position on board that Movistar Yamaha, and now leading the way as we come over to complete the first lap out of 10 here at the Circuit Ricardo Tormo. Everybody doing a very nice job at the moment, not seeing too much defensive riding in the early stages. At the moment it's Adrian_26, the guy we're looking at here on board the Monster Yamaha Tech 3 machine, who's got it all to do because he's got Luigi 48GP behind him and nearly ahead of him, and indeed getting ahead as we go into turn number 2. Will he be able to hold it into turn 3, Luigi? Well, it's going to be very close between them, and he does get up into 4th place. So as it stands at the moment, Steve, Luigi back into the final.
Yeah, number 48 there, up into 4th place, and you're looking at him now. He's just enjoying a great battle there with number 62, Adrian_26. Worth pointing out here as well that Adrian, number 62 there, is brother with Mandzukic. Interesting dynamic. I'm sure they both want to try and get themselves through to the final. So far, I have to say, this has all been very cautious. It was, but it's not anymore. That's Luigi GP who's gone down. Number 48. Now, he's got some serious speed. He's now got it all to do to try and catch up with the top 4.
Absolutely, yeah. Lap 2 out of 10. Fortunate for him, it's in the early stages and the field was all bunched up. However, he is going to lose more time because of that, but he will have a long time to be able to recover the time that he has lost, which is fortunate for him. Somebody who doesn't have problems, though, is Mandzukic. Look at the way he is romping away from the field there, Steve. He's put quite a bit of daylight between himself and Timothy McGarden, a good few tenths of a second there.
They make this game look so easy, and it's really not. The Valencia circuit here is tight and twisty. There are circuit limits as well. You see it in real life, you see it here as well. They have to stay within track limits, otherwise they will be getting warnings from race direction about exceeding track limits. As we see there, Timothy McGarden still in second place. Kyron doing a great job there in third, and now coming under attack from Adrian, number 62 in fourth. As a result of Luigi's crash earlier, Vindex is now up into fifth place, the number 18.
The thing that's going to be interesting here as well is, are the riders going to start battling with each other? We can see Adrian on the number 62 Tectoire machine, who was having a bit of a battle. Meanwhile, Kyron gets up the inside of Timothy, so that's a change of position there. But all the while these guys are battling, the likes of Vindex, Rick and the Fugia are all going to be closing up corner by corner.
Yeah, well, Mandzukic, the race leader there, if he just keeps it smooth, he's absolutely sorted. It's these guys battling for second that's interesting, because Vindex is there ready to pick it up, and already there's a bit of squabbling going on here, and this just lights up the eyes of those behind, because they're all trying to get into the top four. It's getting a bit messy here, Tom.
And exactly as you said that, Steve, Vindex went up the inside of Kyron, and now he's got 3 positions in the space of 2 corners. Take a bow. That was an absolutely brilliant bit of riding there from Vindex from 4th into 2nd place. I'd love to see a replay of that one, because that was incredible.
Absolutely great move there then from Vindex to go up into 2nd place, having been all the way back in 5th. Now, because these guys have been scrapping, the rider we saw falling earlier, keep an eye on at the back of the pack there as they make their way onto the start-finish straight, the Suzuki of Luigi GP, because he is closing in.
Indeed, you can see Luigi there on the left-hand corner of the screen, second from the top. He's the Italian rider, 18 years of age he is, and he's doing a great job of reading in that gap. But back at the front, the battle's still going on. Kyron Dio, a big wobble, but down goes Vindex, I'm afraid to say. He goes from 4th position down to last. All his hard work there, Steve, undone in the space of a few metres.
I've got a really bad feeling he's not going to be the last rider that goes down here. These competitors are really getting scrappy now. There is Adrian. He's now up to 2nd place. We've got brothers 1 and 2 as it stands, as Kyron makes an aggressive move up the inside there. A brilliant move there from the South African, number 49.
Yeah, hails from Pretoria, does Kyron. Absolutely brilliant stuff he's doing on board that Aspar Ducati. Meanwhile, Timothy McGarden goes a bit deep there into the hairpin, the left-hander, but he manages to get a great exit and surpass Adrian's on the 62, as well as Rick MotoGP 35 also coming into play there. A warning, meanwhile, as we ride on board with Kyron.
Yeah, he just went out of track limits, did Kyron. You can get away with that a few times, but not too much. This is really closing up. It's brilliant stuff. Vindex, who crashed a moment ago, is just at the back of this group. But look who's making progress. Luigi 48 GP is now up into 5th or 6th place, as we saw an aggressive move there on the grass. Lucky to stay upright there was German competitor Timothy McGarden.
And that's allowed Rick MotoGP 35 into 3rd position. So the Repsol Honda rider from Britain has had all of his Christmases come at once as he goes into 3rd place. He's in with a chance of the final if it stays as it is, but the people behind, Adrian 26, Luigi as well, who are making ground, are going to be trying to close that. Meanwhile, here comes Timothy up the inside of Rick into turn number 2. He runs in hot. Will that allow Rick to get the exit? Indeed it does. Brilliant overhead shots here on the MotoGP 17 game.
We shouldn't forget at this particular moment, as we're watching this melee and the drama for 2nd, 3rd and 4th, that Mandzukic is absolutely running away with this at the moment. He is 2.3 seconds ahead, the number 2. The competitor from Spain, brother of Adrian. Both of them are absolutely doing great at the moment, but Mandzukic is 2.5 seconds clear.
Exactly right, that's Steve. We had a bit of contact there is what we've had between Timothy McGarden and the Fugia, who's making some aggressive moves on that Valencia Ducati. So Timothy McGarden goes from a spot in the final all the way down into 7th place on board that X-Star Suzuki. So the German rider is going to have all of that work to do. He qualified, did the German rider of Timothy McGarden in the last final of the Iannone battle, so he's familiar with the Suzuki bike. Meanwhile, here we go on board with the Fugia on board the Reale Avintia racing machine. So the Fugia in 7th place, Vindex just behind. We haven't seen much progress, but a warning there for the Fugia, Steve.
Yeah, the Fugia there, just you could see that he went off track limits, so that's probably understandable. Here is Mandzukic then, the winner, currently well, I say the winner before he's even got there. I don't want to count his chickens just yet, but Mandzukic, who hails from the Canary Islands, completely in control. Says his favourite rider is Dani Pedrosa, and I'm sure Dani Pedrosa would be very proud of him at the moment. Absolutely flying. Second place here for Kyron. This is great stuff from the South African. And qualified 15th.
I know, it's brilliant stuff from Kyron, as you say. He was way down the order on the second row, of the outside of the second row of the grid in 6th position for the start of semi-final number 1, and he qualified back in Aragon on Valentino Rossi's Yamaha, so he's looking very comfortable out there. Is the 23-year-old, hails from Pretoria. He's an entrepreneur as well, Steve. He owns his own business, so maybe that sensible head is playing dividends.
Yeah, well, he's probably got his business head on at the moment and thinking about a BMW, as we see a lovely move there from Luigi on that Suzuki, having fallen earlier, but he just has to be forced out of it again. Rick, MotoGP, number 56, Repsol Honda colours there, going really, really well. He, of course, hails from Derby, 24-year-old. It's getting a bit close, this. Still Mandzukic leads, 2.7 seconds clear now as we head onto the start-finish straight to tick off another lap.
Yeah, now on the latter half of the race, just 3 tours remaining of this Valencia circuit. Luigi 48GP, what a performance he's done. He gets a slipstream on Rick MotoGP 35. He gets a bit too close for comfort into turn 1. Will he get a good exit, Luigi? He's going to draw alongside the Repsol Honda, and as we go down into turn 2, he's already ahead before the braking zone there, Steve. Beautiful bit of riding there from Luigi. We knew he had the pace, and he's really put that to perfection.
Yeah, just nudging wide the number 56. It's sad because 56 is going to get a bit of a penalty for that, or a warning at least, but it wasn't really his fault. Here is your race leader then, Mandzukic, home and dry, really smooth, not putting a foot wrong. Really got control of this game at the moment, not seen him make a single mistake. A brilliant start, and so far a brilliant.
Absolutely perfect as we go into the left-hand. A very big bump on braking in that left-handed kink. It really does dip down. Mind you, this circuit, it doesn't look like it elevates much on the shots that we're seeing, but if you have a look at the track on the onboard shots from the motorcycles, you can really get an idea of the undulations of the circuit, especially into that final corner. We've seen during the free practice sessions on Thursday, Steve, it's so easy to drop the front end into one of those corners.
It really is, but it doesn't look like Mandzukic is going to do it. There's an incident between riders 18 and 49 currently under investigation. They are currently riders in 2nd and 7th, so that could play quite a big part in the end result. We now come across the line to tick off another lap. It's really important to keep an eye on who's going to be 2nd, 3rd and 4th here. We've talked about tactics before, but sometimes you've got to be a bit careful to engage in battle. If you're in 2nd place and you can hold it, just stay there. Don't make any errors. You're going to be through to the final. Looks like, though, Mandzukic is going to be our first finalist here.
I was going to say, somebody who doesn't have to worry about tactics is Mandzukic. I'm so impressed with Kyron as well. He's not really shown the pace that he'll be running up the front in the race, but he's really benefited from everybody else's misfortune. Kept a level head, kept it calm, kept it cool, and completely by his own skill and his own determination is up there in 2nd place with a spot in the final. But the man breathing down his neck, or will be, I'm sure, in over a lap's time, will be Luigi 48GP. So the Suzuki X-Star rider on board the number 48 is Suzuki's in the final at the moment, with Luigi and Timothy occupying those positions. Unfortunate to say that Rick MotoGP 35 from Derby, the 24-year-old, is currently out of the final at the moment. But anything can happen there, Steve, in racing. There's just over 1.5 laps to go, and it could get very interesting.
Yeah, Mandzukic leads then, still 2.7 seconds. The battle you're looking at here is number 49, Kyron, and number 48 here is Luigi, 18-year-old from Italy, hails from Naples, trying to get himself into this final. I think there might be 1 or 2 competitors that have not been showing their cards in the build-up to this when we've seen them in qualifying.
I think you could be quite right there, Steve, and I have to stress as well that don't forget this result doesn't decide the grid for the final. There is a separate qualifying session that we will have, a 10-minute session before the grand final race later on this evening. So keep an eye out for that. So wherever they finish, as long as they finish inside the top 4, it doesn't matter. They will make it through, and then they will have a chance to set a better lap time. But we know how competitive these riders are, Steve, and if they feel they're faster, if they feel they can get through like Luigi does here on Kyron, I'm sure he'll be thinking about a move before too long.
Yeah, well, the move has to be clean, Tom, because they're 2nd and 3rd at the moment, and the pair of them would just both go through. But if they engage in battle, and let's say one of them knocks the other off, then they're going to be out. This is really important now, because we're getting to the closing stages. If you crash now, it's all over.
Here comes Luigi going up the inside. He had a little bit of a sneaky look there, tried to dip a wheel, Couldn't quite manage it on that X-Star machine. This is brilliant stuff, but on corner exit, Luigi 48GP, what a bit of drive he got out of that corner turn number 9. Absolutely stunning stuff, and he moves up into second position.
Now what does Kyron do on the white Aspar machine, number 49? Does he stick or twist? He twists. An absolutely brilliant move there from Kyron on the Ducati-coloured machine. Didn't really care one iota that they're both already through to the final as it stands, and Luigi retaliates a brilliant move as well. We're about to start the final lap.
It's getting very hairy now. This could be a very interesting and crucial final lap. At the moment, the riders going through to the final. Mandzukic, Kyron, Luigi and Timothy. Will that be changing in the next 4.005 kilometres? Out of turn 1 we go. It's still Kyron in third place, followed by Timothy Magada, but Luigi in second place is really being harassed by the Aspar Ducati rider into the left-hander of turn 3. This is where Kyron is really strong. He's got a great front-end feel with that bike, and he looks like he's going to be all over the gearbox of that bike for the rest of it, and he's up the inside, Steve.
Brilliant stuff from Kyron. These guys don't need to squabble here. They don't need to do it. They're currently in the final, but they've just completely lost track of what's going on. They don't care. They want to finish second. There's no prizes here in the semi-final in terms of finishing second, third or fourth. You just get yourself through into qualifying.
Here comes Timothy McGarden as well. Kyron DL was on the curbs, on the brakes, and that does enough upset the front end of the bike. And now he's coming under pressure from the other Suzuki X-Star machine. All they need to do is keep a level head. There's just under half a lap remaining here at the circuit. Ricardo Tormo for semi-final number 1. And at the moment, the top 4 that started the lap will finish the lap and go through to the final. But the man that, Steve, that has dominated this race from start to finish, look at the gap. He's got 3.1 seconds. Is coming out of the final corner, and he is going to take the checkered flag, even having time to pull a wheelie. Absolutely brilliant stuff.
Superb stuff from Mandzukic, but who's going to get second, third and fourth across the line? It's Luigi second, Timothy Magada is third, and Kyron fourth. We have 4 different nationalities going through into the final. Brilliant stuff there. Spain prevails on this occasion.
Certainly does. What an absolutely brilliant race. Don't forget, though, we do have that incident that's under investigation as well from Kyron and Adrian at 26. Actually, an update here. Let's have a look. Provisional race results under review by Race Direction there, Steve. So we could potentially see a change in the running order. Kyron DL is the rider who made it through, the last rider to make it through to the final, and we could potentially see something changing from Race Direction.
Yeah, we just need to keep an eye on that because Kyron was the competitor involved, as well as, was it Vindex?
It was Vindex, yes.
So they were 4th and 5th, so it's absolutely crucial when we get the eventual result. Just something whilst we're talking and the decisions are being made by Race Direction, just worth pointing out, Tom, if you look at the race results there, the fastest lap of the race actually went to second place Luigi 48GP.
The red mist had certainly descended by then, hadn't it? Brilliant stuff from Luigi. What a recovery from the Italian rider. 18 years old, and he is showing mature racing craft and absolutely brilliant stuff. It was a phenomenal recovery, phenomenal race from him.
It really was, yeah, and as you can just see there, provisional race results they're still under review at the moment. We've still not got any guarantee on that. What we can be sure of course, is that Mandzukic is definitely going through. So this is the incident that we're looking at, and they are keeping an eye on.
So Kyron on the inside, and Mandzukic, I apologize, Vindex was the rider who got caught out in that. Here we see from the third-person view. Let's have a look at the incident then. So was it Kyron that went into the side of Timothy, or did... too close to call that, isn't it? Personally, I would go for that as a racing incident.
Well, I'm not Race Direction, but I'd probably be on side with you there. We won't get ourselves in trouble by calling that one, but we will find out shortly exactly what the race results are. Sometimes in instances like this, it happens. It happens in real racing, and it obviously happens in eSports as well.
Certainly does. So what did we learn from that race then, Steve? Well, if nothing else, we learned that Mandzukic has got the pace to absolutely romp away with the race. Will that be the same though in semi-final 2? We know the guys are quick in there. We know how quick they were over the course of a race distance in practice as well. So it's going to be interesting to see if he's able to repeat that feat in the grand final.
Well, he didn't have any trouble, did he? I mean, he didn't even need any racecraft, Mandzukic, because he wasn't troubled. He qualified on pole position. He made a great start into turn 1. There was all sorts of drama going on further behind. And Mandzukic, he might as well have got a cigar on the go by the end of that one. It was absolutely brilliant.
Let's have a look at some highlights then from the race, shall we, for semi-final number 1 here at the MotoGP eSport Championship. Well, it was Mandzukic on pole position. As the lights went out, though, it was Luigi 48GP and Timothy McGarden on the inside who managed to get better starts. And as they went down towards turn 1, it looked like Luigi would have the whole shot. However, a crafty bit of riding there from Mandzukic, taking the inside line. He got the lead back in the space of a few meters, where he would stay until the end of the race. Meanwhile, further down, there was lots and lots of overtaking taking place. Kyron DL looked like he was out of the running for quite a while until this incident occurred. There was lots of argy-bargy there, Steve. It got very close for comfort.
Yeah, that was the moment that Vindex made up about 2 or 3 places in one go. Here comes the incident then. So unfortunate there for Vindex, and unfortunately it looks like at the moment it could have cost him. They're still looking at this one. It's not been decided just yet as we look through the rest of the highlights.
Here's Luigi 48GP. We're on board with the Spaniard, making a brilliant ride there in 4th position. Here's Mandzukic, though. Well, he wasn't troubled. As you can see, we're on lap 7 out of 10, the latter half of the race. So a brilliant ride it was from him over the timeline again. You can see on the left-hand side of your screen on the graphic there, he had a 3-second advantage, which he held until the end of the race. But further down was where it all got interesting between Kyron DL, Luigi 48GP, Timothy McGarden, as well as Rick MotoGP 35. We'll come on to that in just a moment. Meanwhile, let's come back to this. Kyron DL getting done over by Luigi 48GP on the penultimate lap of the race. A brilliant recovery from the 18-year-old Italian. Kyron DL, though, didn't take it lying down into the quick right-hander. He said, thank you very much. I'll have a nice position back there. And he did, but didn't manage to hold it for too long. But the man that absolutely dominated that race, without question, was the Spaniard Mandzukic. Over the timeline he came to take the checkered flag in semi-final number 1. And he automatically will, of course, progress, as will the entire top 4, into the grand finale.
Yeah, that was a really good race. 4 different nationalities there inside the top 4 as well. Kyron, who qualified all the way down in 15th, was really impressive because they didn't see that coming in the build-up and all the sessions that we've been watching. So a brilliant ride for South Africa. At the moment, of course, it's him that's in question. We've got the race results here. Now it is officially confirmed. No further action taken by the looks of things. Kyron will be going through to the final.
He certainly will. So Kyron will make it through to the grand final. Brilliant stuff there from the South African. A shame for Vindex, a shame for Adrian 26, a shame for the Fugia, and a shame for Rick MotoGP 35. Big disappointment there for those riders, but nonetheless, they're all winners for making it here into the MotoGP eSport final event. Brilliant stuff from all involved. And I have to say one person who I was incredibly impressed with, Steve, Rick MotoGP 35. Well, he wasn't really anywhere in qualifying, but he did an absolutely superb job in the race.
Yes, some real interesting results that were going on there. And of course, we've got semi-final 2 to look forward to in a moment as well.
Yes, we have indeed. So here we go then. Let's have a look at the graphic. You can see on the left-hand side of your screen, semi-final number 1, and in the middle, these are the riders that are making it through to semi-final 2. Mandzukic, Luigi 48GP, Timothy McGarden, and Kyron DL. So 4 different nationalities into the grand final there, Steve. Absolutely brilliant stuff.